So I class changed to Demon Hunter for a day to see how it performs in Battlegrounds. I didn't have any builds saved, so I just used a popular PvP build and did my Battlegrounds. After that, today I was doing some open world farming, dungeons and Terror Rift content with the same build. And it works perfectly for every type of content in the game. I'm sure there are specific builds for each activity that perform a little better, but if you are like me and don't want to worry about changing builds on a class you want to play for a few days, this build is what you're looking for. I will start explaining the build with the skills I am using, but before that, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. I will have a lot more content about the game and upcoming updates, so you won't want to miss anything. Our first skill is Strafe. What a surprise, right? Basically, this is a spin to win build for all types of content in Diablo Immortal. We have both an offhand and a main hand essence for this skill. Both are crucial, and we will go over every single legendary item affix in a couple of minutes, so I won't get into it too much now. Next, we have Multi-Shot. This skill increases our damage output. We have a main hand essence that turns Multi-Shot into a primary attack buff, allowing us to use it with Strafe. Plus, our headpiece causes explosions when hitting burning enemies, dealing additional damage to nearby enemies. For multi-shot, we are also using a shoulder essence. Right now I have one that knocks enemies away, which I use for PvP, but this can be changed to something else that deals more damage for PvE activities. I will show you the options you can use when we discuss legendary items. Next, we are using Knockback Shot. This one is obvious. It's another knockback which is very useful for PvP. On top of that, the skill gains a wind effect with the chest essence we are using, allowing us to trigger the Firestorm mechanic. Additionally, the chest essence turns this skill into a primary attack buff, so it works with Strafe. Next, we have Daring Swing. This is our only movement skill, and we are using a Pants essence with it that increases our attack speed. Of course, we have to choose a primary attack, and we are using Explosive Arrow with an offhand essence that causes burn on the targets. That's all about the skills. Now let's talk about the set items. As you might guess, using 4 pieces of V2s is almost a must because that attack speed increase is crucial for a class that relies on burst damage. Additionally, we have a bunch of buff skills, so increased duration on beneficial effects is really important. For the other 4 pieces, you have some options. I'm using 4 pieces of Seeds of Sown Gold, but you can go with Gloomguide's Prize or Engmet's Conflagration. All are viable options. Now let's check out the legendary items. For the headpiece, we have Eyes Ablaze. Multi-shot causes an explosion when hitting burning enemies, dealing additional damage to nearby enemies. For the chest, we have Duplicitous Prophetics. Knockback Shot now causes your primary attack to also fire a blast of wind that knocks enemies away. As I mentioned, for the shoulders, we have a couple of options. For PvP, you can use Decisive Report, which knocks enemies away. For PvE activities to deal more damage, you can go with Hailfire. Multi-Shot also launches 2 homing rockets, each dealing damage. For the pants, we have Trampled Hope. Daring Swing also increases your attack speed for 4 seconds. For the first main hand, we are using Fang Spitter. Multi-Shot now empowers your primary attacks to fire multi-shots for a short time. For the second main hand, we have Unrelenting Furor. Strafe duration increased by 39%. For the first offhand, we are using Pain Sour. Strafe now fires your primary attacks focused on the nearest enemy. For the second offhand, we have Hellbinder. Explosive Arrow now also causes enemies to burn for 7000 damage over 2 seconds. And that's all you need to know about legendary items. For my Reforge bonuses, I'm using 3 bonuses from the Vengeance family to get that bonus family attribute. For the other 2, I'm using Beneficial Effect Duration Increase and Block Chance bonuses. You can use something else instead of Block Chance, that one is up to you. For the Cursed properties, I'm using 4 pieces of Tortured and a couple of Ancestral properties. One is set to damage increase, but you can use Immobilize too. Don't use the stun because you are a ranged class, and most of the time no one will be near you to get stunned by that effect. For legendary gems, you can use Gloom Cask, Trickshot Gem, Iron Bane, Berserker's Eye, Roiling Consequence, Pain Clasp, Mother's Lament, Starfire Shard, Bottled Hope, and Blood-Soaked Jade. When it comes to Paragon setup, you have a bunch of options which depend on your needs. For PvP, you can go with Gladiator and use these active skills: Cheat Death, Uncontrollable, Rapid Recovery, Grizzled Veteran, and Juggernaut. Alternatively, for PvP, you can go with Brawler and use these active skills: Finishing Touch, Insanity, Defender of Sanctuary, Chase Down, and Rugged. For dungeons and raids, you can go with Slinger and use these active skills: Unseen Dynamism, Gifted, Uncanny, Sharp Eye, and Careful Aim. Lastly, for open world farming, you can go with Vanquisher and use these active skills: Swift Learner, Treasure Find, Lucky, Gold Find, and Greed. If you don't need Scrap and Dust, you can use Brawler for open world farming as well. I think that's all I can tell you about this build. I hope you find this guide helpful. Thanks for tuning in and take care.